Hey guys, what is going on? AEW's Winter is Coming is here. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the 14th December edition of AEW's flagship show, as well as the latest wrestling news, including more on Mandy Rose's release, Vince McMahon's quest to return to WWE, another guest announced for Raw's 30th anniversary special, and more. As always, Wrestlelamia won't recap the matches, but look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The good: Death Triangle versus the Elite heating up. Winter is Coming started off strong with another barn burner between Death Triangle and the Elite, this time with Nick Jackson selling an injured ankle and being forced out of the match. The Elite fought back as best as it could against the 3-on-2 advantage, adding another twist on this best-of-7 series. Even Nick's return wasn't enough, and Kenny Omega's suggestion next week's match should be no disqualifications was a smart way of building interest in this series as the Elite find themselves down one match to Death Triangle's 3. Action Andretti shocks the world. History repeated itself tonight as Action Andretti played the 1-2-3 kid to Chris Jericho's Razor Ramon. What looked to be a squash match proved anything but, as Jericho struggled to put Action away, only to count the lights after Action landed a running shooting star press. Jericho's willingness to put over a younger star is commendable, and it'll be interesting to see how far Action can go with this surprise win. Rumor has it Jericho lobbied for this match for the last few weeks after Andretti impressed him in a previous match. Ruby Soho is back. Ruby Soho is back and she looked good in her grudge match against Ty Mello. The match had the brilliant backstory of Mello breaking Soho's nose and Ruby looking for revenge, as well as Anna Jay's interference after the match. A series between Ty and Jay versus Ruby and whomever she chooses to be her partner is a good way to keep these women busy while other wrestlers battle for the TBS and AEW women's titles. The House of Black destroy the Factory. The Factory had no business being in the ring against the House of Black other than to put them over, and that's exactly what they did. Malachi Black and his crew destroyed the Factory, with Julia Hart even spraying black mist into Nick Comoroto's eyes. The House doesn't always win, but if AEW wants to capitalize on the group's popularity, it needs to be picky with who defeats them. Tonight's match suggests AEW may finally be on the right track with Malachi and his monsters. Jungle Boy and Hook versus The Firm could be interesting. Has AEW found the right program for Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Now that Perry is finished feuding with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, at least until Cage returns from injury, he needs a compelling storyline, and a feud against Stokely Hathaway and The Firm could do the trick, especially with Hook helping Jack deal with the numbers game. Fans may even see an eventual match between Perry and Hook once the feud settles down, a match which could prove to be a surprise success. The bad: using the Acclaimed to put over losers. Wrestlelamia is constantly praising AEW for its variety of good to great tag teams, so why are the Acclaimed suddenly stuck in a program against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett? The AEW World Tag Team Champions are one of AEW's most over acts since Wardlow, and unlike Wardlow, AEW seemed to know how to push them. At least until now, when they put them against the oldies act of Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. There's nothing to be gained from this program other than to get fans to ask, who's booking this garbage? Bad booking for Starks. Speaking of bad booking, AEW's booking of tonight's Starks vs. MJF winner-take-all match was awful. The build-up to the match was fantastic, with both men cutting powerful promos last week and tonight. The problem is that AEW dispelled all doubt about who would win the match when it put MJF's AEW World Championship and Dynamite Diamond Ring on the line in the same match. While some overly optimistic Starks supporters might have hoped Ricky would do the unthinkable, the reality is that MJF's AEW World Championship reign is just beginning, and there's no way he's losing. At the same time, AEW needed to create the belief that MJF can be beat, and it could have done so by booking Starks vs. MJF in a match for the Diamond Ring, with Starks beating him for the ring and creating the illusion he could win the title. Instead, fans sat through an entertaining match with an inevitable outcome. A woeful Winter is Coming. Tonight's Winter is Coming was a disappointment as it failed to live up to the past year's shows. There were some cool, no pun intended, moments such as Action Andretti's shocking win over Chris Jericho and another phenomenal trios match. Nonetheless, nothing on the show stood out as anything above average, and it's puzzling why AEW didn't do more for its December spectacular. BCC's boring promo. Jon Moxley has been cutting some fantastic promos, but he definitely phoned it in tonight with the usual, "we're gonna test you something" that's becoming boring every week. Mox needs to get some new material or the fans are going to wonder if he's doing scripted promos again. The downright ugly. Nothing ugly about tonight's show, despite it feeling like any other week of AEW Dynamite, which normally isn't a bad thing. AEW either needs to scale back its special editions of Dynamite or make sure that each show is something extra special. Tonight's show wasn't, and it tainted the Winter is Coming brand. Mandy Rose updates. The wrestling world is still dealing with the WWE's recent release of Mandy Rose, including what just happened and what's next for Rose. As you might expect with a wrestling story this big, the details are still emerging on when the WWE made the decision to both take the NXT Women's Championship off Mandy Rose and whether to release her. Dave Meltzer discussed the situation on Wrestling Observer Radio, noting that the WWE believed Mandy Rose way crossed the line with the content that was leaked. As for the title change, they switched the whole show around because what happened was, there was a meeting and Matt Bloom brought to Shawn Michaels, told him what some of the stuff that she's been putting on her subscription service is, and told Shawn what was there, and Shawn's immediate thing was, we've got to get the title off her immediately. Switched around the whole show, got the title off of. Dave Meltzer tweeted about the title change. There's a lot to the Mandy Rose firing today, and the title change last night was a last-minute decision based on the fact that she was getting fired and not the original plan. Cageside Seats' Randall Ortman said that there were plans for Mandy to drop the title in the near future. Mixed up in this is the decision to have Roxanne Perez beat Rose for the NXT Women's title. Alvarez says it was planned to happen on January 10th regardless. However, the WWE's apparent shock over the photos obviously pushed up the schedule. Mandy's message. Mandy Rose has issued a brief statement about her release. Rose posted the message on her FanTime account. Hey guys, thank you for all the messages. I'm overwhelmed with all the love and support from you guys. And don't worry, the page is still up. There have been reports that Mandy makes more money off her subscription service than she does as a WWE superstar. The former NXT Women's Champion's fiancé Tino Sabatelli posted some encouragement on social media. The baddest bitch that game has ever seen, period. Current AEW wrestler Saraya tweeted her support for Mandy. Love you, sister. What do you think is next for Mandy? Let us know in the comments below. Mr. McMahon's quest to return to the WWE. The rumors that Vince McMahon wants back in at the WWE have led to various reports about the likelihood of it happening. Now, two stories are showing off some of the obstacles Vinnie Mac faces. The first has to do with the WWE's current sponsors and the likelihood they don't want to be associated with Vince running the WWE. Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that, if he came back, there would definitely be issues with some sponsors squeezed in it, even Fox and USA. I don't know you, but I mean, you're definitely risking that because it's, in the time frame we are, with the different allegations out and the payouts and everything like that, it'll be a big risk. Diamond Dave also discussed how even McMahon's past supporters don't seem eager to aid him in his return. I know allies of Vince who are very much allies of Vince and very protective of Vince who are not business allies of Vince right now because they know it would be the worst thing. They are very strong allies of Vince. People you would think are his allies, you don't know. Because people are happier in the company, because the company is running better, people who are allies of Vince, they see the company now and they don't want him back. Vince McMahon's quest to the WWE is undoubtedly going to have several obstacles, with the two new accusations being leveled against him only compounding his hush money scandal. If McMahon chooses to try and deal with these challenges, the WWE could be in for a rocky road in 2023. How Bobby Lashley's storyline firing was affected by Mandy Rose's firing. In case you missed it, WWE authority figure Adam Pearce has rescinded his decision to fire Bobby Lashley. Pearce issued a statement on Twitter doing so, and it's rumored the WWE didn't want to confuse the issue of a storyline sacking with a real one. WWE legend announces appearance at Raw 30. Last but not least, wrestling fans wondering who is on the guest list for the 30-year celebration of Raw on 23rd January can add Native American Tatanka to the list. The popular star from the early 90s posted the following on Facebook. To the Tatanka Nation, thanks always for your overwhelming support. Want all of you to know I've been invited to the 30th anniversary celebration of WWE Raw January 23rd in Philadelphia. Memories of many barn burners at the Philly Spectrum. Nature Boy Ric Flair is also scheduled to appear at the show, and you can be certain that Tatanka and Flair will be just two in a cavalcade of stars. Well guys, there you have it. What did you think of the show? Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.